Talmor, Shishin Magachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey there, it's Rachel Ballinger, and I am thrilled to invite you to Rachel Uncensored, my podcast where I get real with my friends and celebrity guests, where we talk about all sorts of topics. From personal stories to hot-button issues, we cover it all. New episodes drop every Wednesday, so make sure you tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the fun and candid conversations we have here on Rachel Uncensored.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
MMA fight fans will know UFC Octagon girl Arianny Celeste. Even if you're not a big fight fan, you've seen her in multiple magazines, namely Maxim, FHM, Sports Illustrated, Playboy. In fact, her issue, November 2010, was the top selling of the year. Remember Overhauling? Arianny was a co-host in 2014 and 2015, and when she called up to be a guest of the podcast, we talked about how BJ Penn is one of her favorite MMA fighters all time. She just started up her girlfriend box business and gave us a lowdown on that. We talked about traveling the world and how the Dodge Neon was her first car. We talked about time travel and how cool that would be. We got into cheat foods, workout schedules, and a lot more. And stop me if you've heard this before. Arianny shared a near-death experience from when she was a kid and how she almost drowned.
When I was a kid, I was doing I was playing with my cousins, and my cousins they're brothers, and they're very competitive, and I was the judge to their contest, and they were doing, who could stay underwater the longest, and my favorite cousin, of course, I said won, and then my other cousin, and I didn't know how to swim at the time, I was probably in kindergarten, he tried to drown me, so I just remember,
wow,
trying to swim and trying to catch my breath. And I remember it so clearly. And then my favorite cousin saved me. So,
wow.
Yeah, that has happened.
Wow.
So I always make fun of my other cousin, and I'm like, yeah, you remember the time that you almost killed me? That's pretty messed up.
Stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by FKP MMA, Vancouver's #1 training destination at fkpmma.com.
GZM Shows and the creators of 6 Minutes are rolling out their newest audio adventure with the podcast Discovering Dad. A cautious single dad with a secret past and his rebellious kids embark on a thrilling quest complete with hidden treasure, villains, and a family curse. New episodes of Discovering Dad roll out weekly starting June 11th on Apple Podcasts. Follow the show so you never miss an episode, or listen early and ad-free as a GZM Shows subscriber. Go to gzmshows.com to learn more.
Hey there, it's Rachel Ballinger, and I am extremely excited to invite you to Rachel Uncensored. It's my podcast where I sit down and get real with my friends and celebrity guests, where we talk about all sorts of topics. And sometimes we might be under the influence when we do so. We cover things from personal stories to hot-button issues. And it's the only place on the internet you can find an uncensored version of me. It's a side of me that you might not have seen before because it's not the most family or brand friendly. But don't worry, I'm still sort of slightly a decent human being. If you're intrigued, then make sure you check it out. New episodes drop every Wednesday. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the fun and candid conversations we have here on Rachel Uncensored.